Anyway, there was one more thing that I saw on this program, Brian, which was the main event, the tornado match with the Usos and the Bronze, Reed and Breaker, where it's all four guys in the ring is legal, no disqualification, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm loving Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed as a tag team. And that's what we've needed is two guys together that are both at the main event level to be in team matches so that it means something. And I get that the Usos are, by virtue of that they were tag team champions for so long and they built up how they were allegedly the greatest team of all time because of that, et cetera. I can't look forward to Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker wrestling if they're wrestling the Usos, because as over and popular as the Usos are, Brian, they're the shits, aren't they? As an actual wrestling tag team, aren't they kind of the shits?
They're not my favorite. I'm not a big fan of the way they work.
And again, it's two of them doing the same thing. It's sort of like when one of the Samoans wrestles the other one of the Samoans. It's now we got two guys on one side doing the same. It just anyhow. Braun Breaker for a break spot. I see what they did there. The breaker spot came off the railing of 10 feet to the announce desk and clotheslined Jimmy and just knocked him ass over tea kettle, and he was out. So then the next segment, they come back and they're getting heat on Jay, but it's 2-on-1, two heels and one baby face. And it was long, but here's the problem. The way that you do this angle where they've taken one partner out and the heels get heat by it being 2-on-1 with one guy sidelined is when it's a regular tag team match, when the heels are tagging in and out, but the fresh man can always come in so that the babyface can't capitalize on his little underneath flurry because the guy tags out and boom. And the heat comes from they're taking advantage of the numbers instead of breaking the rules. Well, here there are no rules. And it's just two heels beating up one baby face. And the referee has to stand there and look at it. But finally, they're going to splash Jay, and Jimmy came back and made a comeback. And even with his ribs hurt, boom, 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 he was able to do some shit until Bronson Reed hit a Death Valley driver and Braun Breaker speared Jay. And they stacked him up. We're going to go to splash him. And Roman's music plays. And here comes Roman out carrying a chair. And he gets a big pop. But, Brian, did you notice there's the Usos laying there unconscious in the ring when his music starts playing? The camera goes to the entranceway. Here comes Roman Reigns. By the time he gets to the ring, the Usos have disappeared. They're not in the ring. They're not even visible on the floor anywhere. They're hiding somewhere. Did you notice that?
Bloodline magic.
So he shit cans Breaker. He hits Bronson Reed 5 times with the chair. Then he beats up Braun, rolled him back in the ring, and the Usos double teamed him. Double super kick, and double splash, and beat Braun Breaker 1, 2, 3. So the baby faces, the odds were even. It was 2-on-2, but they needed help from the third guy to even things out. And then Roman Reigns beat Braun Breaker up 5 times more with the chair, and fucking off they went. And Roman and Jimmy shook and hugged and pep talked and all that stuff. And Jay was in the middle of the camera shot being left out of the little confab there. But was this constructed oddly to where in the summation of things, when it was 2 against 2, the baby faces couldn't handle things, but when the third guy came out with a chair, well, that helped them win.
Well, the other thing too is this whole episode almost felt like Vince was in charge. Everything was drawn out so much. Like, especially here at the end. Took forever for everything to go down. Took forever for Roman to walk out. Took forever for him to get his beating in. Him and Jay were just standing there holding each other for quite a little while. Again, it feels like it's a cooling down in a lot of ways, even though there's a lot of star power and a lot of tickets being sold, but not a lot is happening. Not a lot seems to... Not having booking logic isn't just a Tony Khan issue at times, and it may not be as egregious and things may not be as chaotic and Khan-like as they are in AEW, but it doesn't mean everything in WWE is done the right way or makes the right sense, or makes any sense.
Sometimes they do confuse me too over here. But the Bronze are getting over it. Boy, it takes 3 of the top Samoans to kick their ass. So fuck, watch out for these 2 guys. That's what I've got to say.
Well, that was WWE Raw, Jim. And of course, if you watched all of that wrestling from WWE and you were expecting action, you may say, where's the beef? Or you may say, I'm going to sue.
Or you may say, where's my lawyer? Well, I'll tell you where he is. He's in Beckley, by God, West Virginia.
Call Stephen P. News. If you need to sue. An outlaw mud show or 2. Skills to the rest.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the man that is the subject of that chart-topping hit, Stephen P. New at newlawoffice.com, 877-50-STEVE, can take your case. As a matter of fact, he can take your case and turn it into a whole steamer trunk. That's what he can do. He can get you paid in gross tonnages of money. You will have to measure the money that he will get you awarded in court on a scale, ladies and gentlemen, because that's the way the Stephen P. New operates. If somebody has screwed you around, and remember, they got to have some kind of resources to begin with. You can't just sue a goddamn homeless bum on the street. I guess you could, but you're only going to get a stink. But you can get money from people with money, and if they've done something wrong, Stephen P. New will find out and get you that money. 877-50-STEVE, newlawoffice.com. Get even with Stephen.